March in Zone 9 is basically nature's green light, and if you're not out there planting right now, you are leaving food off the table. This is one of the most exciting windows of the entire gardening year, and honestly, it flies by faster than you'd think. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to get in the ground, and you're going to want to go do it the second this video is over. Whether you're in Florida, coastal Texas, Southern California, Louisiana, anywhere in that warm Zone 9 belt, March is your month. This is when the garden wakes up and things get serious. We're covering 8 vegetables and 2 flowers today, and every single one of them is perfectly timed for right now. Not next month, not whenever you get around to it. Now. So let's not waste any time. Let's kick things off with one of the most underrated vegetables in the entire Zone 9 garden, southern peas. Black-eyed peas, purple hull peas, cream peas, they all fall under this umbrella, and if you're not growing them, you are genuinely missing out. Here's what makes these things so special. They're nitrogen-fixing legumes. That means while they're out there feeding you, they're also feeding your soil, pulling nitrogen straight out of the air and depositing it into the ground for your future crops. Free fertilizer. You can't beat that. And on top of that, they are one of the most heat-tolerant vegetables that exist. When everything else in your garden is gasping for air in the Zone 9 summer heat, southern peas are just getting warmed up. When it comes to planting them, keep it simple. Direct sow right into your garden bed once your soil is at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which it almost certainly is by now. About an inch deep, 3 to 4 inches apart, rows about 2 to 3 feet apart. They germinate fast, sometimes within a week, and they don't need much fussing over. Don't go heavy on fertilizer since they're making their own. Keep the soil moist early on, and in about 60 to 70 days you'll be pulling pods off the vine. Let some dry out completely and you've got shelf-stable beans for the pantry. It's a win every single way. Southern peas are setting the bar high, but the next one on our list might actually be the king of the Zone 9 summer garden. Don't let anyone talk you out of growing it. Okra gets such an unfair reputation, and it drives me crazy. People try it once, prepared badly, and they write it off forever. But grow your own, harvest it at the right time, cook it right, and you'll be a convert. I promise. This plant was basically designed for Zone 9. The heat that shuts down your tomatoes and wilts your lettuce, okra loves it. It thrives in it. While the rest of your summer garden is struggling, okra is pumping out pods every few days like it doesn't have a care in the world. It's fast, it's productive, and honestly, it's one of the most beautiful plants in the garden. Big tropical leaves, gorgeous pale yellow flowers that look like something you'd pay a lot of money for at a nursery. It's doing the most in all the right ways. Getting it started is easy. Soak your seeds in water overnight before you plant. This softens the seed coat and speeds things up noticeably. Then direct sow about an inch deep, give each plant 12 to 18 inches of space, and let the Zone 9 sun do its thing. Water deeply a couple times a week rather than a little bit every day, and you'll have strong, productive plants. Now here's the secret to okra that nobody talks about enough. Harvest small. 2 to 4 inches, that's your target. When you pick them young, they're tender and delicious. Leave them too long and they get woody and tough. And yes, that's where the bad reputation comes from. Pick often, pick small, and the plant just keeps producing. The more you take, the more it gives. Okra is going to carry you through the whole summer, but the next plant is going to carry you through the next couple of months at absolutely full speed. This one is almost aggressively productive. Summer squash and zucchini. If you want to feel like a gardening genius fast, plant zucchini. These things grow so quickly and so abundantly that you'll be handing bags of them to your neighbors whether they want them or not. And they'll take them because homegrown squash is just that good. We're talking 45 to 55 days from seed to first harvest. That's it. And once they start, they don't really stop. The key is to harvest young. Zucchini at 6 to 8 inches is where you want to be. Small, tender, sweet. Leave them on the plant too long and you'll suddenly have a zucchini the size of a baseball bat that's useful for basically nothing. Check your plants every single day once they start producing because these things grow overnight. For planting, skip the indoor seed starting. Squash roots hate being disturbed, and these plants grow so fast it's simply not worth it. Direct sow an inch deep, a couple of seeds per spot, and thin to the strongest plant. Give them 18 to 24 inches of breathing room, full sun, and water at the base, not overhead, to keep fungal issues at bay. And keep an eye on your flowers. Squash makes both male and female blooms, and if you're not seeing fruit set, the bees might need a little help. Just take a small paintbrush, touch the center of a male flower, and touch the center of the female flower, the one with the tiny mini squash at its base. Done. Problem solved. Squash is all about that fast, immediate gratification. But the next one on our list is the opposite. It's a slow burn, a long game, and when fall rolls around and you're pulling it out of the ground, you're going to be so glad you started it in March. Sweet potatoes are genuinely one of the most rewarding crops you can grow in Zone 9, but you have to start now. This isn't a get around to it later situation. The clock is already running. These things love the exact conditions that make other gardeners in other parts of the country cry. Heat, humidity, long summers. Zone 9 doesn't stress sweet potatoes out. Zone 9 is their happy place. They'll spread their vines across your garden all summer long, crowd weeds out naturally, and underground, those beautiful roots are quietly swelling into something worth harvesting. High in beta-carotene, loaded with vitamins, fiber, potassium, they're one of the most nutritious things you can pull out of your own backyard. Importantly, sweet potatoes don't grow from seed. They grow from slips. You can buy them from a local nursery, or you can make your own right now. Take a sweet potato, stick some toothpicks in the sides, and suspend it halfway in a glass of water in a sunny window. In a few weeks, sprouts will start to emerge. Once they're 4 to 6 inches long, twist them off, let the cut end dry for a day, and those are your slips ready to grow in the ground. Plant them with the bottom few inches buried and the leafy top sticking up, about 12 to 18 inches apart. Loose, well-drained soil matters here. Compact soil gives you rich shape and struggling roots. Go easy on nitrogen fertilizer or you'll grow a gorgeous vine with almost nothing worth eating underneath it. Water regularly until they're established, then step back and let the Zone 9 summer work its magic. By October, when those leaves start to yellow, it's harvest time. You've got a root crop quietly doing its thing underground. Now let's go big and tall with something that delivers one of the most purely satisfying fresh from the garden eating experiences there is. Sweet corn. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, like eating sweet corn that you picked yourself that same day. Store-bought corn starts converting its sugars to starch the moment it leaves the plant. By the time it reaches the grocery store shelf, that sweetness is already partially gone. But corn you pick in the morning and eat that evening, it's a completely different category. Once you've had it, you can't go back. March is your window in Zone 9. You want corn in the ground early enough that it hits harvest before the peak summer heat rolls in, because excessive heat during pollination leads to poorly developed ears. Plant now and the timing lines up beautifully. Corn is always direct sown. Don't bother trying to transplant it. Seeds go in about an inch deep, 9 to 12 inches apart. But here's the most important thing to understand about growing corn, and a lot of first-timers get this wrong. Never plant it in a single row. Corn is wind-pollinated, and without a proper block planting, at least 4 rows wide, the pollen just drifts away and you end up with sparse, patchy ears that are deeply disappointing. Plants in a block, 4 rows minimum. It makes all the difference. Corn is a heavy feeder, especially for nitrogen. Side dress with a nitrogen-rich fertilizer when plants hit knee height and again when they start to tassel. Water deeply and consistently, especially once ears are developing. In 70 to 90 days, when the silks turn brown and dry and the kernels feel full through the husk, you're ready. Pull back just the tip of the husk to check. Plump kernels that release a milky juice when pressed mean it's go time. From tall, sun-loving corn to something that is going to completely surprise you, our next plant is honestly one of the most fun things you can possibly grow, and you absolutely have to start it this month or you've missed your chance. Okay, real talk. Did you know you can grow your own loofah? Like the actual scrubber in your shower? If you have the natural kind, it's a gourd. It grows on a vine, and Zone 9 is one of the very few places in the entire United States where the growing season is long enough to actually do it. This plant is so cool, and if you've never tried it, this is your year. Here's the deal. Loofah needs somewhere between 150 and 200 days to mature into a proper sponge. That's a long season, which is exactly why March is the line in the sand. Start now and you've got enough warm growing days ahead of you. Wait until May or June and the math just doesn't work out. The bonus? If you harvest the gourds when they're young, about 4 to 6 inches, they're actually edible, similar to zucchini or cucumber, and popular in a lot of Asian and African cooking. So you get a 2-for-1, a fresh vegetable early in the season and natural sponges later. Plastic-free, compostable, homegrown. You can make dozens of them off a single vine. Soak your seeds for 24 hours before planting. The seed coat is tough and it needs that help. Sow about an inch deep and get a strong trellis in place before this vine takes off, because it will take off. We're talking 10 to 15 feet easily. Full sun, regular watering while it's young, and then just let the Zone 9 summer do the heavy lifting. The bright yellow flowers that show up all season are a pollinator magnet, so your whole garden benefits. To harvest sponges, leave the gourds on the vine until they're brown and feel light. Peel off the outer skin, shake out the seeds, save them for next year. Rinse and you're done. It's genuinely one of the most satisfying harvests in the garden. From one of the most unique plants you can grow to one of the most practical. The next one is simple, fast, and tastes dramatically better fresh than anything you've ever bought frozen. If you're an edamame fan, growing your own is going to ruin grocery store edamame for you forever, and that's a good thing. Fresh pods, boiled minutes after picking, with a little salt, there's just no comparison. Edamame is also a seriously nutritious crop, around 17 to 18 grams of protein per cup, plus iron, calcium, vitamin K, and all 9 essential amino acids. It's a complete plant protein, which makes it one of the most valuable food crops you can grow. And just like the southern peas we talked about earlier, it's a legume, so it's giving back to your soil at the same time it's feeding you. Getting it in the ground is about as simple as it gets. Wait for soil temperatures around 60 degrees, which Zone 9 has in March, and direct sow seeds about an inch deep, 4 to 6 inches apart, in rows about 2 feet apart. No indoor starting necessary, no fussing around. Full sun, decent drainage, consistent watering, and light fertilization. These plants handle themselves. They grow to about 2 feet tall, they don't need staking, and in 70 to 90 days you'll have pods. Here's the thing about harvesting edamame, though. When it's ready, and the window is short. About a week of peak harvest time before the beans start transitioning from fresh edamame to mature dried soybeans. So when those pods look plump and bright green and the beans fully fill out the pod, drop everything and pick them. Steam or boil with salt, eat straight from the shell, and try not to eat the whole bowl before dinner. From simple and straightforward to something genuinely exotic, this next plant is one of the best kept secrets in Zone 9 gardening. and it solves a problem that frustrates almost every warm climate gardener. Here's a frustration that basically every Zone 9 gardener has experienced at least once. You plant regular spinach, it looks great for about 5 minutes, and then it bolts the second the temperature ticks up. It's maddening. Malabar spinach is the answer to that problem. Now, fair warning, it's not actually a true spinach. It's a completely different plant from a completely different family. But it fills that leafy green role in your kitchen beautifully, and unlike real spinach, it doesn't just survive the Zone 9 summer, it thrives in it. Heat, humidity, hot long days. This plant is native to tropical Asia and Africa, so that's literally its natural habitat. The leaves are thick and glossy and work wonderfully cooked. Stir fries, soups, curries, sauteed with garlic. Young leaves are great raw in salads, too. It's loaded with vitamins A and C, iron, and calcium. And the red stemmed variety? Genuinely one of the most beautiful edible plants you can grow. Vibrant purple red stems climbing a trellis, lush green leaves. It's ornamental and functional at the same time. To grow it, soak your seeds for 24 hours before planting because germination can drag without it. Sow about half an inch deep or start indoors 4 to 6 weeks ahead if you want to jump on the season. Space plants about a foot apart and give them something to climb. This vine can easily hit 6 to 10 feet. It handles partial shade better than most vegetables, which is a genuine bonus if you get spots in the garden that don't get full sun all day. The harvesting method here is what keeps it producing. Snip the growing tips and young leaves regularly. The more you cut, the more it branches, and the more it branches, the more it produces. It's one of those beautiful cycles where your garden rewards you for showing up consistently. Eat vegetables. That's your food garden absolutely stacked for spring and summer. Now let's talk flowers, because they deserve a spot in every vegetable garden, and not just because they're beautiful. Flowers in a vegetable garden aren't decoration for decoration's sake. They're working plants. They pull in pollinators. The bees and butterflies that your squash, southern peas, and okra absolutely depend on. They attract beneficial insects that prey on garden pests. And honestly, they make you want to spend more time in the garden, which means you're out there paying attention, catching problems early, harvesting at the right time. Flowers make you a better vegetable gardener. So let's talk about the two picks for March in Zone 9. Sunflowers. Is there a more joyful, optimistic plant on the planet? Sunflowers are the plant equivalent of a good mood, and in Zone 9 they grow like they were made for it. Beyond being beautiful, they're serious workhorses for your garden ecosystem. From the moment they open, bees and beneficial insects are all over them, which means your vegetable plants nearby are getting better pollination, better fruit set, better harvest. Once the blooms go to seed, birds will be visiting your garden well into fall. And those seeds are genuinely nutritious. Healthy fats, vitamin E, selenium, magnesium. A snack you literally grew yourself. Direct sow only. Sunflowers have a taproot, and transplanting sets them back hard. An inch deep, 18 to 24 inches apart for large varieties, 12 inches for smaller branching types. Full sun. Go easy on the nitrogen fertilizer or you'll push leafy growth at the expense of blooms. And plant them on the north side of your garden bed so they don't shade out everything else as they shoot up. 60 to 90 days to bloom depending on variety, and once they're flowering, they're magnetic. Sunflowers bring the tall drama and the big bold energy. Our final plant today is the exact opposite, and it fills a totally different niche in the Zone 9 garden with serious style. Turenia, wishbone flower. If Turenia isn't on your radar yet, it absolutely should be. This little flower is one of the most underused plants for Zone 9 conditions, and once you try it, you're going to wonder why you waited so long. It produces small tubular flowers, almost like tiny snapdragons, in purples, pinks, whites, and gorgeous bicolors with contrasting throats. And it just doesn't stop blooming. From the time it starts until frost shuts things down in the winter. Gerania is continuously putting out flowers. That kind of staying power is hard to find. Here's what really sets it apart, though. It genuinely prefers warm, humid conditions, and it handles partial shade beautifully. For Zone 9 gardeners dealing with spots that don't get full sun all day, finding a flowering plant that actually performs there can feel impossible. Gerania solves that problem. Afternoon shade actually helps it stay lush and blooming longer through the intense summer heat. The seeds are tiny, almost dust-like, and they need light to germinate, so press them gently onto the surface of moist seed-starting mix and don't cover them. Keep them evenly moist and give them 7 to 14 days to come up. Start indoors 6 to 8 weeks before you plan to transplant, or just grab nursery transplants in spring, which are easy to find. Space them 6 to 12 inches apart in beds or containers. Fertilize every few weeks. Keep them consistently watered, and they'll reward you with nonstop color from spring all the way through winter. Alright, there's your complete March planting guide for Zone 9, and what a lineup it is. Southern peas for heat tolerance and free nitrogen, okra for summer-long harvests that don't quit, summer squash and zucchini for almost embarrassingly fast food production, sweet potatoes for that deeply satisfying fall harvest, sweet corn for the kind of flavor that makes grocery store corn irrelevant, loofah because the clock is already ticking on that long season, edamame for fresh protein straight off the vine, and Malabar spinach so you actually have leafy greens when everything else is given up. Top it all off with sunflowers for the pollinators and the pure joy, and Terenia for non-stop color even in your shadier corners. March is a gift in Zone 9. Use it. That's all for now. Subscribe to see more.